What is up, everybody? We're back with more Tales of Ezra, and I think, okay, so I think we're probably going to have to stick to the,
What do you say we
yeah, so let's go.
check?
Fast travel, yeah. Let's go back, kick some ass.
Back in on the ranch.
Okay, here we go.
Right, here goes!
Glacial
Dragon
Spear,
Form!
Pierce Evil, Thunderblade,
Negative
Illuminate the Dragon
Dragon Form!
These ones can run rings around us. The flames will roar. Feel
Take this! Dragon Form!
more for the stockpile. Hear me, flame and fire.
Here I come!
Raging, now, Ridwell, Astral Energy, full throttle. Go!
Dragon Form!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah, and the bubbling to me.
Dragon Form!
All disasters made one. Come for him, healing security.
Time!
Burning strike. Glacial Spear, do it.
Hitting pile still!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Dance in the blazing storm. Air
Dragon
thrust.
Form!
Like Astral Magic is there. Free
Dragon Form!
Here. Now.
Totally flash!
Here we go.
In an instant! Impact Clock!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Hi, Hoodle.
Dragon Form! Burn!
Begin. Corruption.
Dragon Form!
Gemini Blaster.
I can carve through walls! Time to cross blade!
Dance in the wind. Astral Energy.
Dragon Form!
Portal.
Stop! Dragon
Explosion.
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Lunar Corruption.
Bathed in
Lunar
blood.
Blast.
Rending you up! Hold nothing back!
Don't get carried away.
Strike!
Field.
The Tempest in Dragon Form!
Pile.
Rending you
Detonate
apart!
Supernova.
Bloody
Hurley.
This was all mine! Force of regeneration! You picked the wrong fight!
Magic
Dragon
Form.
Form!
Don't
Free
suffer in
Blast.
silence.
Blah, blah, blah.
Thanks!
Air thrust.
Shattering the pieces. I will take it. Elusive deity.
Here I come!
Hitting pile
Lunar
driver.
Corruption.
Dragon
Lunar
Form!
Blast.
Begin.
I'm all stuffed up. Dance in the wind.
Shackle! Rising Falcon!
Glacial Spear.
Here I come!
Raging Storm.
Allow me to
You're
help.
finished!
Burning Weather.
Here I come!
Raging Storm. Resolve Shield Runner. I'll heal you all.
Dragon Form!
Healing Circle. Radiant Blast.
Dragon
Only
Form!
one.
It's on!
Lunar
You're
Corruption.
mine! Ignite!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Shine. Radiant
Dragon
light.
Form!
Force of regeneration.
Here I come!
Healing circle!
I owe you one!
Dance in the corruption!
Dragon Form!
Air thrust!
I owe you one!
Gemini All-Star Flash! Illuminate!
Dragon Form!
Holy Laser Ray! Into the fray!
In
Annihilate!
a bind.
Dragon Stop!
Here's a healing arc!
Dragon Form!
Photon Flat! First aid!
I'll face you.
In here!
Armor won't save you.
More for the stockpile!
Green
This one's
face
all mine!
Flame!
Rending you apart! You picked the wrong fight!
bloody Bloody
Dragon form!
Maelstrom!
Stalagmite!
Healing circle!
Rending you apart! Need to pull myself together! Thanks! Sorry,
Leave the torch!
Dragon swarm!
Firmament Ranger!
Far enough!
Regenerate! Don't suffer in silence!
Explosion!
Allow me to help you! Everlasting
Light
shock!
astral energy!
Eagle ray! Dragon
Ready
swarm!
thrust! Shield! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go! They really made us work for that one. Little help!
Dragon swarm!
Engaging!
Dragon swarm!
Need to pull my
I'm going in!
Learn astral illuminate the sun!
Deity carved through armor! Dragon swarm! Burn it up! Dragon swarm! Vacuum blade! Too fast! Stand back! Dragon swarm!
Not on my watch!
Damn it, Bennett!
This one's mine!
Man down! Dragon swarm! Vacuum blade! Can't get out of this! There!
Ready to go!
Might with black
Here's the evil!
Not done! Dragon swarm!
Now!
Vacuum blade!
Let's do this one.
In an instant! Impact block! A scream bathed in blood. Another incantation ruined.
Here's the evil! Seal!
Dragon shattering us!
Freezes! Attack us! Raging cascade!
Elusive deity!
Here's the evil! Do it!
There! Show me!
There you
In
go.
an instant! Impact block!
With this, I can become even stronger! Out of our way!
Dragon swarm, my lord!
Smash you!
Wind astral
The
energy!
power inside me yearns to be let free! Take down the defenses! Dragon fury! There!
Fire support!
No dawn can break this night! Time to let it rip! Dragon swarm! Vacuum blade! Its arms are too strong! They can't get out of this! Be my guest! Vacuum blade!
Mission!
I'll heal you all! Seal!
Dragon swarm!
Confiscated!
Vacuum blade!
Healing circle!
Dragon swarm! Vacuum
I never miss! Gale force!
Dragon
Do it! Illuminate magic is there!
Burn in hell!
Here's Holy Land!
Dragon swarm!
Negative lightning hard up!
I can carve through walls! My field!
Annihilation! Into the Japanese supernova! Let astral lightning contest!
Vacuum blade!
Explosive charge! Here's a healing
Dragon
charge!
swarm!
Arctic fireball! Freeze blazing storm! Into the wind!
Dragon swarm! Vacuum blade! Dragon swarm! It's time! Take this!
First aid!
Dragon swarm!
Do it! Neon! Astral energy! Full
It was a close thing.
Oh, here we go. That's what we got here.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa,
Jericho,
we?
let's go.
I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
So what's we got?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself.
Good point.
But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
Oh, piss off.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
Um,
What the hell just happened?
good question.
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened.
Come
Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen.
Here we go.
In here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's get ready. Holy shit.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power
We
when...
can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria...
We're getting for the power core.
Like that before?
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the two. Then we get some answers. Aim for the weak spot.
Here, let's go.
Dragon form! They smite with blackened blade!
I'm ready.
Wind astral energy! Illuminate the top rock! Where are you going?
Dragon form!
Holy limit!
Negative gate!
Annihilation! Mega ray! Raging storm!
No escape!
Razor cyclone!
You're mine! Can't get out of this! Crush! Dragon form!
Blah 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 magic! Begin! Realize your dream!
Elusive deity!
Take this!
Soaring blast!
Blaze will roar!
Now you see what I can do! Eagle ray! Dragon form!
Sleep now! Tornado!
Raven sizing yours to be
I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara!
Dragon form!
I'm out of
Down!
control with that came from!
Blind you with the dragon
Magic is
blade! Dragon form! No further!
By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
You may be strong, but I'll never back down!
Sleep now!
Denied.
It's over! Dragon form!
This one!
Air pressure!
More where that came from! Here's a healing art!
Wide open! It won't escape me!
Lightning orb! Raging cascade!
It's go time!
Seal! Flame! Finish without a trace!
Strike! Blood!
I'm for sure if we're
Raging
gonna go.
storm! Flame of fury! Frozen red just for the
On your mind!
Raging cascade!
Regenerate! Your radical arts are being interrupted! Rising Falcon! Catapult!
Will this help?
Dragon Resonate with the earth! Vacuum blade!
Healing war where that came from!
On your
So let's do it!
Think here it is.
Astral energy!
Say no more! On your knees!
I can handle it.
Okay.
Vacuum blade! Burn in hell!
Lightning attack! Freezing storm!
Bending you apart!
Illum magic is there!
Now you see what I can do!
Ice tornado!
Vacuum blade! There! Can't get out of this!
That move!
Dragon form! Here comes the big one! There!
Photon flash! Gemini aqua!
Shine!
This
Radiant
alive!
light! Regenerate! Regenerate!
Confiscated!
Denied.
Field! I'll be
Captivity!
saving this one!
From beyond!
Raging
Imbued
storm!
its
More where
vanquished
that
soul
came
with
from!
blood.
I can't heal you forever!
Yeah, I can see that. When we get an idle thing.
Raging
Not
storm!
done yet!
By the power of flame! Guided with
Dragon
every
form!
one! Raging
Oh, come on.
Ready and ready!
Blah,
Now
blah,
you see
blah,
what I can
magic
do!
explosion! Here's the flame of fury!
Not now, not ever!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Dragon form! Burn in hell! Dragon form!
Air thrust!
Vacuum blade!
Light astral upsteering!
Dragon form!
Reload!
Don't suffer in
By
silence!
the power of flame! Disobedience without a trace!
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Elusive deity! You're mine! Dating
More with that flame of fury!
Elusive deity! One final push!
Let's finish this off!
I'll do my best not to disappoint.
Feel! Ready!
Begin! There! Elusive deity!
Gemini aqua!
Now we're not late!
Thunder fear! Power of flame!
Tornado drive! Vacuum
More with
blade!
that came from!
It's gonna attack!
Right, watch out!
Can't get out of this!
This one's mine!
There! Shine! Radiant
Hear me,
light!
light of
Force of
fury!
regeneration!
Burning!
Ah!
Water! All together! Call one! Blood! Glacial spear!
Ether!
Lightning orb!
Carve through armor!
Light blade!
There!
Sorry, will this help?
You'll pay for that!
Nothing gets by me. Denied.
Healing circle!
Vacuum blade! There!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
Vacuum blades! There!
Resuscitation!
Elusive
I've
deity!
still got this fight left in me!
Shine! Radiant
Lunar
light!
corruption!
Force of
Lunar
regeneration!
blast! Regenerate!
This one's time.
I'm sorry.
Not done yet, baby. This is my fault.
Flame of Fury!
Armor won't save you.
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Tempest engulfs you! Vacuum
Great
blade!
Cleanser! Better! Now it's in the sky and it's mine!
Blade!
Now!
And the,
Even descend. Flashing bang.
Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim. not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did...
I won't save. That's not safe.
much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Thorns? Whoa.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
Okay,
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens, I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Okay, I see what you got.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I think I can make this work.
How?
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
Well, so you're the only one who fucking did it, dude. Congratulations, you're the only lab rat to survive.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
Explains why he had a grudge.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
Makes sense.
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately.
See what happens.
I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance.
Power. Spirit Core, and
Significance of this location would suggest.
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might...
and yes. Yeah. Okay. Water. Take place, the friend zone.
contain valuable information.
Okay, so we got
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside
that's like,
of me,
thanks.
but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Yeah, cool. What's this thing? Come on!
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
Yeah.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Most likely.
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
Good argument, good argument.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More
Most
to
likely.
the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Oh, come on. Let's see what we got here.
For the people of Lenegus, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Yeah.
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, sovereigns and forbidden zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
Good point, good point.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Let's go. And there is no thing back there. Cool. Okay. However, it does. Jesus. Thanks. Awesome. Brainwash report after receiving report of rebound unit from whatever. Okay. Here we go. Boards. Okay. And exit. That's all, blah, blah. I was just... Let's see what the maiden is. The maiden act. Okay. Let's see what we got this way. Okay, so let's see what we got over here. Okay, and nothing here, so let's check out the other one. Okay, and can't get anything from you. God damn, must be getting close to the end of the game. There's a lot of fucking cutscenes.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain.
So, drug me out, knock me out, wipe me
Time
out.
to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode.
Damn.
The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system.
Well, that explains a lot.
But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That actually explains a lot.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask... on me. It made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Okay.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome. Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us. What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first.
So...
With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. and for a new sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well.
That explains a lot.
Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
So that makes sense.
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the maiden's outfit?
That's
Yeah.
right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're
Good
right.
point.
It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
Yeah, we can hold it against you.
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah! We can protect the world and save Shion at the same time!
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they
Yeah, you got
say
one.
modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Shion? Yeah. Okay, equipment. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Do a north one, I guess. Oh, give me a second. Okay. Real quick.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way.
Well, come on, let's go. Oh, God.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
We're about to find out, motherfucker.
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Oh, okay, that's funny. It goes right through W. Oh, shit. This kid's getting my ass kicked.
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek
What the
its
fuck?
rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
Makes sense.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is,
I'm betting it's
I'll
a
bet
god. I'm
connected to
betting
those
it's a god.
visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible?
Great.
What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
Okay.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Elton. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. But
Okay, so they're all just normal
stop that
targets.
before this gets out of hand.
Barrier!
Dragon form!
Our art is being interrupted.
Dragon form!
Light astral illuminate the blah blah blah. Here's a healing art.
Denied!
Holy land! First aid!
Vacuum blade! Shattering the pieces! Take this!
Annihilate!
Dragon form! That's you!
Mega ray!
Vacuum blade! Everlasting dark!
Arcane
Flame on! Ignite!
Glacial
Elusive
spear!
deity!
Evil!
Rotating pile! Dragon form!
Bring it dead! Lightning orb! Confiscated!
There!
Power of flame! Vanish
Vacuum
without a
blade!
trace! Magic is there!
There!
Sleep now!
Dragon
Warp
form!
and stockpile! Explosion!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Are they all the same health? Okay, cool, cool. So no matter who I attack, one of them I attack.
Another incantation ruined! Dragon demon light! You'll pay for that!
Let me help! Let the Mark handle this! I never miss! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Shattering the pieces! Attack time! Vacuum blade!
I'll be saving this one!
Ignite! Dragon form!
My downfall.
Raging storm! More with that strong!
Alright, let's do this. What's up, buddy?
Heal!
I'm burning! Raging by the power of flame!
There!
Vanish without a trace!
Vacuum blade! Take this! There! Dragon form! Elusive deity!
I couldn't make it in time.
Can you take it?
Burning!
There!
I'll bring you back
Shine!
from
Dragon
Target!
form! Force of regeneration! Regenerate! Vacuum blade!
I've still got some
Don't
fight
suffer
left
in
in me.
silence.
Radiant, here!
This one's all mine!
Celestial hammer! I'll
Eat
heal
this!
you all! Ice ritual!
Take this!
Healing circle! Thanks!
Now you see
Just
what I
wait.
can do!
I'm sorry to trouble you.
Do the same for me. Mega ray!
Dragon form!
I'm all stuffed up! Raging
I'm not
storm!
done! It's over!
Here's a healing art! Light astral energy! Love heart field!
Dragon
Can't get out of this!
Sighted! Got you! Confiscated! Mega ray!
There!
I'm ready!
To everlasting
Engine sharpen! Vacuum blade! Burn! Smite with blackened blade! There!
I never miss! Air thrust!
Vacuum blade!
Photon flux! Blah 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 magic! Here's now!
Dragon form!
Burn the stockpile! Oh, magic is there! Here's
Shine!
flame of
Radiant
fury!
light! Force of regeneration!
Regenerate!
Here I come! From the top!
Spear! Here's raging
Anything in armor is all mine!
by the power of flame!
Armor won't save
Where you going?
A scream.
Just what the doctor ordered!
Rending dragon form!
Lightning condemned! Thunder blade! Illuminate! Magic is there! Close one!
Can you take it?
Lunar corruption! By the power of your field!
Here I come!
Raging
I'm not done!
cascade!
No further!
Mega ray! Magic is there!
Not today!
Gemini aqua!
Shine! Radiant light! I'm not done!
Here!
Force of regeneration!
I'll be
Vacuum
saving
blade!
this one!
Regenerate! There!
All disasters may
Allow me to
war!
help you.
Vacuum blade!
Let's take care
Dragon
of
form!
flame!
Stay away from my friend! Dragon form!
Rotating pile driver!
I'll bring you back from I'm ready!
Dragon form! Radiant light!
Okay.
Force of regeneration! Shattering the pieces! Attack time!
Here's a healing art!
No! Can't end here!
Item time. Dopamine.
Another ally left in me!
Stalagmite! Negative
I'll
gate.
bring you back from death.
I owe you one.
Here, let me
Dragon
help.
Swarm.
First aid!
Dragon
No
Swarm.
dawn shall break this night.
Vacuum blade.
Ready! Searing
Shine. Radiant Dragon Swarms of regeneration. Regenerate. This one's all mine. Eat dirt. Thanks.
Far enough!
Vacuum blade.
Think again! No more playing nice! Ready to go! Go get him!
Prepare to be seized.
Healing circle!
Thanks. Rending you apart.
Mega ray!
Bloody split.
Ready and
No
ready!
further.
Raging storm!
I can carve through armor.
Healing circle!
No dawn shall break this night. Dragon Swarm. Vacuum blade. Dragon Swarm.
Benediction light.
There.
In here!
Allow me to help you.
Radiant light here!
Strike. You're finished.
Illuminate the top field!
Ruin it. You're finished. You're mine.
No further.
Okay. How's the game? The game's good. I'm about done with this thing. We gotta kill this bitch. See how it goes.
Dragon Swarm.
Leave the torches to me! Far enough!
Confiscated. Thanks.
There.
Just what I needed.
Fire sword attack.
Holy land!
Oh, punch the shit out of it.
Very well. Astral energy. Full throttle.
Okay, they're dead.
Surrender. Fighting is useless now.
Do you think it's really over?
Fuck no.
Astral energy. Watch out. They've got something up their sleeve.
Self-destruct. Okay.
What? It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
No shit. I was like a point blank explosion, dumbass.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Hey, you lost last time,
Even
jackass.
after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Voron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Dana are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters.
Oh, this dude's gonna get fucked up.
I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alma!
Looks like this guy's in the same point.
It's too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
Come on, fucking do it! Those wings actually helped out, I'm not even gonna lie.
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
I'm looking forward to it, asshole.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is
Stalker alert,
Voron...
yep.
Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but
Fuck no.
hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renis Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Voron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renis Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana.
Yeah.
I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're
Back to the
agreed.
motherland.
Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennans or Danans.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
Let's go. The Red Woman.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it.
It's
One
that
minute
lady
they
in
look
that
perfectly human.
lady in red songs.
Next
They're all
thing you know,
monsters,
they're
and now we
not
know that's
actually
future
human at
reference.
all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danan. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Yes.
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Dohalie? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the...
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Option B.
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did.
Let's go. Practically, I think I'm gonna stop the stream after I get to Dana. So. Whoa. There we go. Gotta cut our way back through.
Hi, Hoodle!
Dragon Flame down! Back your blade! I won't show you any mercy! Dragon Swarm! Can't get out of this!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down! Support! Dragon Swarm!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more! Resonate with this one's all mine!
Yeah, and bubbly to me!
I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Lunar corruption!
Vacuum blade!
Power of water! I need it all day!
Dragon Swarm!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more!
With this, I can become even stronger.
Let's go.
We seem to have come across something
This one's glowing. That's not easy.
This won't be
Okay. So.
easy.
Vacuum blade! Not today!
Will this help?
Can't get out of this! Dragon
Freeze
Swarm!
Blaster! As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough. Not on my watch!
Bloody holiday! Smash you!
Here's a healing art beyond the darkest
Dragon!
dark.
Another incantation ruined.
Dragon Swarm!
Laser spear! Here's
this.
evil!
Tempting! Denied! I'm not done!
Freeze
Elusive
Blaster!
deity!
Shooting star!
Begin.
Dance in the wind!
You're mine! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Demon Land! Vacuum blade! Prepare to be healed! No further! You're finished!
Annihilation! Hear me! Chinese supernova!
Vacuum blade!
No dawn shall break
Here's
this
evil!
night.
Field!
I'll thank you. Adversity is said to be the best motivation.
It's over!
Sleep now! Reload!
Regenerate!
I don't even know the word defeat.
I'm not done!
He who
Carve
prepares
through
is free
armor!
from regret.
Searing
There!
flame!
Let us take to the fray!
Here's a healing
Vacuum
art!
blade! You bless
First
thy
aid!
gift!
This
might
Damn it!
There! Vacuum blade!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Benediction lies.
There! Heal! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Here's a raging
Vacuum
cascade!
blade!
Is it in the sky?
There!
Blah, blah, blah,
Blood.
The shooting noise.
Ready!
Dragon Swarm! Bloody holiday!
Illuminated sun!
You're mine! No further! Dragon Stop! Vacuum blade! Elusive deity!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Regenerate! Let us see what I can do! Eat dirt!
He who prepares is free from regret.
There!
Onward!
Vacuum blade! Eternal devastation!
I'll be saving the world!
Calamity!
This
This is looking good! Dragon Swarm!
Tidal wave!
I can't move!
I couldn't make it in time.
Lightning contagion!
Take this!
In
a vine?
Holy land! Resuscitation! Ready to go!
Not done yet!
I'm ready! Malevolent! That'll bring you down!
Shine! Radiant light!
Sleep
Force
now.
of regeneration!
Here I go! I'll be
Regenerate!
My arts are being
Now you
interrupted.
see what I can do! I'll thank you!
I am not beyond fury.
Annihilation!
There!
By the power of flame! Confiscate! Vanish without a trace!
Dragon Fist on!
Lightning
There!
condemned!
Not today! Dragon Swarm! Rending you apart! Vacuum blade!
Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic vision!
There! Radiant light! Here I come! There! Vacuum blade!
By the
Dragon
power of
Swarm! Dance on the way! It's over! Elusive deity! Take this! Vacuum blade! There!
Sorry to trouble you.
Dragon Swarm!
Here's a healing art!
Raging
cascade!
Vacuum blade!
Armor won't save you!
Denied!
Purge malevolent! Annihilation! Clutter the power of flame!
Shine!
Flame inside! Force of regeneration!
More for the
There!
Sapphire!
Regenerate!
Raging
Dragon
sword!
Swarm!
I don't even know the word defeat.
There!
He who prepares is free from
Vacuum
regret.
blade!
Lightning condemned! Thunderblade!
There!
Now!
Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
Brace yourselves! This one's on your knees! Dragon Swarm!
Friend! Not on my watch!
There!
Phoenix flame! Reload! I only want raging
Vacuum blade!
I can handle it! There! One more!
No further! It's on!
Into the fray!
Too fast!
Stand back!
You picked the wrong
Yes,
fight!
it's a reload!
Dragon Swarm!
Negative gate! By the power of flame!
Raging
Now!
you up!
Finish
Shield!
without a... This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
Photon
Dance on the wind!
Water, hear my call!
Vacuum! Dragon Form!
Demon's Descent!
Flashing Fang!
Lunar Corruption!
Dance on the wind!
Raging Storm!
Find your
Mega
way.
Ray! Flawless Flight!
Dragon Form!
Annihilation!
Now you see what I can
Mega
do!
Now!
Dragon
Spirit!
Form!
Astral Energy! Full throttle! Go! Ready!
Vacuum Blade! There!
Can you take it?
Vacuum
Beyond
Blade!
the darkest Where are you going?
Tearing you apart!
Hear me!
Bloody Blade!
Burning Strike! Blaze of Fear! Here's
No
evil!
further!
Shooting Star!
Nicely done.
Here we go.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone?
Joe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegus from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegus right now?
Lenegus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow remnants of Lenegus. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegus, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among men. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Go Dovahmy.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegus, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Tarnigan's death. To see a future.
Let's go.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Worry about that letter.
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul. How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
Trying to get where we're
With or
getting
without
into.
her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegus can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan Lord?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. This Zephyr character.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that...
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me.
Why ask me now? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we...
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. If my brother could see you, he'd...
Not as proud as he would be of his sister.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Need to ask. Is this Law?
Kisara?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't
I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just... But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wing.
So, then what?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and... strange. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and...
A pretty big child.
All this has made me if Dohalim can forge his own path ahead...
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissama. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What?
Great.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
What the fuck is going on? New world?
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
The Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down.
You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies that floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here?
Boo!
Ah! What the? Are you out of your mind?
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel...
Oh, sorry.
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renan side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renan homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after?
Try to stay calm. What is it?
No, it's just... Zephyr once told me the same thing. So much for me making progress, huh?
You made it this far, didn't you? You notice something, you change it. That's all anyone can do.
Oh, I like where this is going.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
No shit.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
Oh god damn it, these telemarketers.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The red women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy, and the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed, and it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegus was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrect 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Phasal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
Find the others.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirt.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to Astral. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more...
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one... How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into...
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what...
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Let's find out.
Offer the fools, let's see what that is. More of those, I guess.
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Hmm? Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrecht 35 when he mentioned that overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dan?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to around here.
Okay.
Have you guys lived up here in Dag Fazel with Hevrecht 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrecht 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquill have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquill themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquill, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrecht 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions.
Oh, man.
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquill.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquill.
But if that's true, Then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries.
They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and—
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while. Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans and Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevric 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
Yeah, what's about to happen?
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
Good point, good point.
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down.
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for.
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over?
That's a good idea. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to... So let's go ahead and break... You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking.
I'll go along with you.
Sounds good.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
Who knows this dude?
Oh, it's you two.
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim.
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around.
What do you think about everything we've learned?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to... But if that thing's hell-bent on trying to destroy... As for the Renans, I suppose...
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down... So...
You kept it...
You mean about the Renans? But... At the...
I know you're already... And... If people that...
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance...
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't...
Right. In a worst-case scenario...
And we all have to figure out...
That's an interesting...
It's true. It won't be... But and...
Everything we thought we knew. It was all...
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that
Well, if the names are anything to go by, it's possible the Helganquil could be behind the fruits of Helgen too.
But if Hevric 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done...
No, I don't think so. Or at least I hope not.
Really? Well then. If we've lost it, I guess we'll just have to find an...
Make one, huh?
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that. Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down. And there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy...
Yeah, but even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Renwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting.
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up.
Maybe, but...
We won't. We'll...
I still can't believe...
You're not the only one still...
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung...
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memory started coming back to me...
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else...
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad. That was no way to live. But all this talk about other races and the world ending...
I know this is going to sound strange.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, but that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there.
In other words...
The thing that's most... All I want to do is protect the...
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight. And you're strong enough to protect the people. Forget all the big stuff going on.
Yeah. I'll fight to...
I apologize for making you witness.
You mean hearing the origins of the Ren?
Indeed.
Even I'm still not sure.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like...
That's just part of being alive, don't you?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not...
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on...
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problem... Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be.
So...
And at the same... There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every...
I didn't expect the former Lord of
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still...
But things can still change if you have the right...
Indeed. On that note...
Oh? What is...
I wish for you to serve as a mediator, so that as the one and only Blaze...
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking... However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan society without any bloodshed. Is it too much?
No.
You're too kind.
That's some high...
Then I'll ask once again.
You don't even...
Thank you.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one. Right now, it's...
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its... I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Ren. It's been going on for 3... It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to... How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world. She considered me A Danon. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so they could go back to hurting each other. Oh, maybe this is what she...
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace... She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own... That means forgiving other people.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right?
Yeah. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better...
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even...
It's not going to... But if we can... I'm there with you. I think that's the...
Yeah.
Whoa, there's...
Yes, I know.
Oh, goddamn.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on...
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, and so it's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with that alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied...
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed... And to hear Shion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from...
Indeed. Shion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy. The one time... And if Rena's great spirit is what...
Shion's thorns...
We don't know anything for...
While the main body...
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my...
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater...
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the great astral spirit this whole... It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's... Our minds are made up. Let's go give Hevric 35 our answer.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the Thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit, and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die. That we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational.
That's...
It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns could be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renis Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony, considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed. I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement.
Well, let's go
I
fuck it
wish
up.
to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
Good idea.
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying...
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Hevrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Hevrek 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry.
Russ. Let's see what we got going on.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on.
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different... Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the... Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or...
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an... But as soon as you stereotype...
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of... Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds?
Yes, I do. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is...
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you.
Did you just... Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know... but I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
They fuck.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, so I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize?
I was being real stupid before. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something... So, I'm sorry, Runewell.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible...
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I also want to believe it's...
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of...
Yeah, of course.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside. It was the first time I felt like my power... Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it.
So that's why you...
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right?
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit? That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and every... I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, but I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So, in a way...
What?
Well, like you...
Yeah.
Effort 35 might know the answer, but... You know what? So thanks, Rinwell. To be honest, I feel like you and I had grown apart lately.
Huh?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
You're thinking?
That's nothing.
Then spit it out.
They fuck. They fuck. Oh, goddamn. Why do I...
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is.
Same as you. Still trying to...
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first...
If I hadn't run into you that day, I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be...
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrecht 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the Blazing Sword to destroy the Great Spirit.
Huh?
It's true the Blazing Sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
Good point, good point.
Serious.
Listen, we don't know what's going to happen when... I promise you, but if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Shion. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay. I understand. So it's a...
Yeah.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever... But when you reached out to me, I don't have words for the shock I felt in that...
That's because I couldn't feel pain.
Even once you could, though. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because...
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone.
Hot damn, we're...
Everybody get enough rest?
Yeah, we should probably...
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and...
Right. We've come this far.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrecht?
I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrecht 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a...
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait.
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot.
We gotta go all the way down.
Will all the Hel...
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says...
Well, come on.
Hold up.
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
Okay. We'll go right here. And then we're going to just hit save and get out of here. And everyone, I hope you all enjoyed the stream.